What's up, everyone? Zane here. And today, wow, we've got major news out of Washington, and this one is going to shake things up far beyond politics. Congress, both parties, nearly unanimously, just forced through a bill requiring the full release of the Jeffrey Epstein investigative files. We're talking names, connections, communications, travel records, logs, everything the public has been demanding for years. The Senate isn't even taking a standard vote. They're letting it pass automatically. And now the bill heads to Trump's desk. The pressure is on. Let's break it down. What's actually in this bill? Why the sudden urgency? And who's most at risk once these files hit the public? Stay tuned, because this is going to get deep. So what just happened and why it's huge? Congress voting 427-1 on anything is unheard of. They can't even agree on what day it is. But on the Epstein files, both Democrats and Republicans lined up with the same message: release everything. This bill forces federal agencies, the FBI, DOJ, DHS, to unseal documents related to Epstein's criminal network, associates, and trafficking operations. This isn't selective disclosure. It's a declassification order. That means no redacting 90% of the text. No ongoing investigation excuses. No hiding names behind black boxes. If the president signs it, this becomes one of the largest forced transparency releases in modern US history. So why now? What changed? This is the part people are debating. For years, both parties avoided touching the Epstein case. It involved too many powerful people, too many unknowns, too much risk. But now, public pressure has been intensifying. Whistleblowers have been leaking pieces. Courts have been slowly unsealing names. Major media networks have faced lawsuits. Foreign governments have asked for cooperation. Congress finally looked around and basically said, if this explodes, we don't want to be holding the bag. Another factor: 2024 and 2025 have been massive for public records transparency. From the JFK files to classified COVID documents, momentum has been building. All eyes are now on Donald Trump for the Epstein files. At first, his team indicated he was hesitant. A lot of high-profile names around him, from business leaders to celebrities, have been speculated about for years. So people wondered, would he veto it? Would he stall it? Would he send it back for revisions? But once Congress passed it with nearly 100% support, Trump signaled he might sign the bill after all. Why? Because vetoing a transparency bill with this much bipartisan momentum would trigger huge political backlash. And Trump's team knows it. If he signs it, he gets to say, I released the Epstein files. And that has major political power going into 2026. So who might get exposed, you say? Who could be named in these documents? Remember, Epstein operated for decades across multiple continents using private jets, private islands, and wealthy clients. Possible categories include politicians, US and international CEOs and major investors, celebrities and entertainers, academics and scientists, royal family members, intelligence agency contractors, media executives, tech billionaires. The public already knows a handful of names that came up in lawsuits or flight logs. But the full federal file is on a whole different level. There could be emails, phone logs, transaction records, testimony transcripts, sealed witness statements, surveillance footage notes, and raw FBI interviews. It's not about who knew Epstein. It's about who participated, enabled, or covered up. That's what has Washington and Hollywood sweating. Once the Epstein files are released, several things will happen immediately. Civil lawsuits will occur. New victims will likely come forward. Old cases may reopen. Lawyers will be lining up. Criminal exposure will reveal, even if statute of limitations applies in some cases. Witness tampering, conspiracy, trafficking, fraud, those can still be prosecuted. Foreign governments will be known for their involvement. Epstein wasn't just a US problem. The UK, Israel, France, Brazil, they all have stakes. If any active political figures show up in the file, 2026 midterms will be chaos. The big question: will we actually see everything? This is the gray area. Yes, the bill mandates release, but agencies can still argue for exceptions involving national security, ongoing intelligence operations, foreign relations. If there's one thing we've learned, agencies do not like giving up their documents. So what gets withheld? What gets delayed? What gets lost? That will be the next battle. Here's what I expect. When the files drop, people will be shocked. Some expected names might appear, but some unexpected ones will too. Social media will explode. Cable news will spin it in every direction. And every political commentator on the internet, yes, including me, will be diving into this story for months. So buckle up. This is one of those rare moments where the system might actually be forced to show the truth. This is a developing story, and I'll be covering every update as it unfolds. When the files drop, we'll break down the biggest revelations right here. If you got value from this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments, because this one is going to get very interesting. I'm Zane, and I'll see you in the next one.